The alien station was quiet, but not peaceful. Cold blue lights ran along the metal walls like frozen veins. Tall doors stood closed. Machines hummed softly in the distance, keeping the station alive. Outside the glass windows, space stretched dark and endless. This station did not belong to humans. Humans were only allowed here to work. They cleaned the floors. They fixed broken pipes. They carried trash and tools. No one looked at them. No one thanked them. Humans were low workers, treated as if they were part of the machines. Ethan was one of them. He was a human janitor. A single father, poor and tired. Every night, while others slept, Ethan pushed his cleaning cart through long, empty halls. His hands were rough. His clothes were old. His back hurt from long hours of work. But he kept going. He always did, because someone was waiting for him at home. Tonight, Ethan moved slower than usual. He had worked double shifts. He had not eaten since morning. The only food he had was a slice of cold pizza wrapped in thin paper, saved for later. His dinner. As he cleaned a quiet corridor near the lower station ring, something felt wrong. The air felt heavy. Then he heard it. A soft sound. Not metal. Not machines. Crying. Ethan stopped walking. Humans were not supposed to stop. They were not supposed to care. But the sound was small and weak, like a child trying not to be heard. Ethan followed the sound. Near a round platform at the center of the hall, he saw her. A small alien child sat alone on the cold floor. She was very young, smaller than a human child. Her skin was pale blue, almost gray. Small folded wings rested behind her back, thin and shaking. Tiny horns curved gently from her head. Her eyes were large and full of fear. She was shaking. Ethan slowly knelt down, keeping his hands visible. He had seen many alien species before, but never a child alone like this. "Hey," he said softly. "Are you okay?" The child looked up at him. Her lips trembled. She said nothing. Ethan noticed her hands pressed against her stomach. She was hungry. Without thinking, Ethan reached into his pocket and took out the slice of pizza. The smell of bread and cheese filled the cold air. His stomach tightened with hunger. "This is all I have," he said gently. "You can have it." He held the pizza out to her. The child stared at it, her eyes filled with tears. She swallowed hard, then whispered in a small broken voice, "Sir, I can't eat." Ethan frowned. "Why not?" She shook her head and turned her face away. Her stomach growled loudly, but she hugged herself tighter. "I must not eat," she whispered again. Ethan felt a chill move through his chest. He had seen hungry people before. He had seen fear. But this was different. This was not choice. This was fear mixed with something deeper. Far away, alarms echoed through the station. Not close, but close enough. Low warning tones vibrated through the walls. Ethan stood slowly and looked around. The corridor was still empty. No guards. No workers. When he looked back at the child, he noticed something strange. Faint, glowing symbols moved across her skin. They were not tattoos. They looked alive. Slow shapes of light formed and faded on her arms and neck, like marks counting time. Ethan's heart beat faster. "What happened to you?" he asked quietly. The child squeezed her eyes shut. "I must not eat," she repeated, her voice shaking. "I was told to wait." "To wait for what?" Ethan asked. She did not answer. The alarms echoed again, louder this time. Ethan suddenly understood. This child was not lost. She was placed here, and refusing food was not her choice. It was a rule, or a punishment, or a curse. Ethan looked at the pizza in his hand, then back at the shaking child, and he realized something that made his blood run cold. This was not a normal alien child, and whatever rule stopped her from eating, breaking, it could change everything. Ethan did not walk away. Every rule on the station said he should. Humans were not allowed to interfere. Humans were not allowed to ask questions. Humans were not allowed to care. But Ethan stayed. He slowly sat down on the cold metal floor, a few steps away from the alien child. He did not move closer. He did not force the food toward her. He simply stayed. The alarms faded into silence. Only the soft hum of machines remained. The child opened one eye and looked at him. She was surprised he had not left. Most beings did. "You're really hungry," Ethan said softly. "I can hear it." The child pressed her hand tighter against her stomach. Her wings twitched. "Yes," she whispered. "But I must not eat." Ethan nodded, as if he understood. "Who told you that?" "My mother," she said. Her voice shook. "And the elders?" Ethan felt a tight pain in his chest. He thought of his own child at home. He remembered the rules he hated, the rules that forced people to suffer in silence. "Why?" he asked gently. The child hesitated. Then she said, "Because humans cannot be trusted." The words hit Ethan harder than any insult. He did not get angry. He did not argue. He only looked down at the pizza in his hands. "I'm just a cleaner," Ethan said. "No power, no rank, no voice." The child watched him closely. "If you eat," she said, "something bad will happen." Ethan smiled sadly. "Something bad already happens every day." He looked at the pizza one last time. His stomach burned with hunger. His hands shook slightly. That pizza was meant to keep him alive until morning. Without it, he would feel weak, maybe dizzy, maybe worse. But the child looked worse. Slowly, Ethan tore the pizza slice in half. The sound of bread ripping echoed softly. The child gasped. Ethan placed one half on the floor between them. Then he placed the other half beside it. "I'm not asking you to eat," he said. "I'm just leaving it here." He stood up. The child's eyes widened. "Where are you going?" "To work," Ethan replied. "Someone has to clean the floors." He turned his back and walked a few steps away. He leaned against the wall and picked up his cleaning cloth. He did not look back. Minutes passed. The child stared at the food. Her stomach growled louder now. Her hands shook. Tears rolled down her cheeks and fell onto the metal floor. She whispered, "If I eat, they will know." She looked at Ethan. He was cleaning a wall slowly, pretending not to see her. He had given up his food, and he did not ask for thanks. That confused her more than hunger. No one had ever done that for her. Her fingers moved slowly toward the pizza. She stopped. The glowing symbols on her skin began to pulse faster. She pulled her hand back and cried softly. Ethan's heart broke, but he did not turn around. He knew forcing her would be wrong. Suddenly, the child whispered, "Why?" Ethan froze. "Why did you give it to me?" she asked. "You are hungry too." Ethan turned slowly and knelt again, keeping distance. "Because you're a child," he said simply, "and children should not starve." "But you are human," she said. "Humans take." Ethan shook his head. "Some do, some don't." The child stared at him, confused and tired. She looked down at the pizza again. Her hands trembled. Finally, she picked up the smallest piece and broke off a tiny bite. The moment the food touched her lips, the symbols on her skin flared bright blue. Lights across the station flickered. A deep alarm suddenly screamed through the halls. Lockdown initiated. Metal doors slammed shut. Red lights flashed. Ethan jumped to his feet. "What did I do?" the child cried. Ethan grabbed his cart, fear rising in his chest. He realized the truth too late. Her refusal was never about hunger. It was a test, and he had just helped her break it. Red lights flooded the corridor. The calm blue glow of the station vanished, replaced by harsh warning flashes. Metal doors slammed shut one after another. Heavy locks clicked into place. The deep alarm sound shook the floor beneath Ethan's feet. Ethan stood frozen. The small alien child dropped the pizza. It fell to the floor, untouched now. She covered her ears and cried as the sound grew louder. "I didn't mean to," she sobbed. "I didn't mean to eat." Ethan rushed to her side and knelt again. "Hey, it's okay," he said, though fear burned in his chest. "Just breathe." But he knew something terrible had been triggered. From both ends of the corridor, footsteps echoed. Heavy, fast, not human. Alien guards appeared, tall and armored, their eyes glowing behind dark helmets. Energy weapons were raised the moment they saw Ethan. "Human," a loud mechanical voice ordered. "Step away from the subject." Ethan slowly raised his hands. "I didn't hurt her," he said. "She was hungry." The guards did not listen. Two of them grabbed Ethan's arms and pulled him to his feet. His cleaning cart crashed to the floor. Tools scattered across the metal ground. "Violation confirmed," the voice said. "Human interference in a protected trial." The child screamed. "Stop!" she cried. "He didn't know." One guard turned toward her. "Silence. Initiate." The child shrank back, fear filling her eyes. The glowing symbols on her skin burned brighter. shifting colors rapidly now. Ethan was dragged forward, his boots scraping across the floor. "What trial?" Ethan asked. "She's just a kid." The guards said nothing. They pulled him through security doors into a wide chamber filled with cold, white light. Machines floated in the air, scanning him from head to toe. "Human janitor," the system announced. "Low-rank worker. Single dependent. No clearance." Ethan swallowed. Across the room, the alien child was led in by two smaller drones. She looked weaker now, her wings drooping. Assessment disrupted. The system continued. Trial breached. Ethan finally understood. She was never abandoned. She was being tested. He stepped forward. "Punish me," he said quickly. "Not her. I gave her the food." The guards paused. The child looked up at him in shock. "You gave me your food," she whispered. "Your only food." "Yes," Ethan said. "And I would do it again." A tall alien figure entered the chamber. This one was different. Older. Stronger. Its eyes were sharp and calm. "Humans are selfish," the alien said. "They take before they give." Ethan lifted his head. "Then you've been watching the wrong humans." The alien studied him silently. "Why did you not eat?" it asked. Ethan hesitated, then answered honestly. "Because she needed it more than I did." The room went quiet. The alien child stepped forward, ignoring the drones. "This was forbidden," she said softly. "I was told humans would take the food for themselves." Her voice broke, but he didn't. The glowing symbols on her skin suddenly changed again, no longer flashing wildly, but forming a steady pattern. The machines beeped loudly. "Trial response detected," the system said. "Unexpected outcome." The guards tightened their grip on Ethan. "Human kindness has corrupted the process," one guard said. Ethan felt fear crawl up his spine. He thought of his child at home. He wondered if this would be the last night he ever cleaned floors. The tall alien raised a hand. "Wet." Everyone froze. The alien looked at the child. "Did the human force you?" "No," she said quickly. "He walked away. He let me choose." That answer changed everything. The system paused. "Processing. Trial condition altered," it announced. Suddenly, a new alarm sounded deeper, slower. Not a warning, a signal. The tall alien turned to the guards. "Release him." The guards hesitated. The alien child ran forward and grabbed Ethan's sleeve with both hands. "He is not dangerous," she said. "He is different." The alien looked at Ethan one last time. "Human," it said. "You have done something no one expected." Ethan's restraints loosened slightly but not fully. The alien continued, its voice heavy with meaning. "You may have changed the future, or doomed it." The chamber doors began to open. Outside, more alarms echoed across the station. Something bigger was coming, and everyone knew it. The chamber doors slid open with a deep, metallic sound. Beyond them stood a wide hall shaped like a circle. Tall alien leaders watched from raised platforms. Their eyes were calm, cold, and ancient. This was not a place where humans were meant to stand. Ethan felt small. The guards guided him forward. His hands were no longer locked, but he was not free. The alien child walked beside him, her small steps weak but determined. The glowing symbols on her skin were now steady, no longer wild. A deep voice echoed through the hall. "The trial has been broken." The words moved through the chamber like heavy air. Ethan looked around. "I didn't know there was a trial," he said honestly. "I just saw a hungry child." One of the elders leaned forward. Its voice was sharp. "That is the problem, human." The alien child lowered her head. "This child," the elder continued, "is born of the dragon line. Her people rule through strength and control. From birth, they are taught not to trust weakness." Ethan frowned. "Weakness? Compassion," another elder corrected. "They believe compassion makes rulers fragile." The child's wings trembled. "She was placed alone," the elder said, "hungry and afraid. If she survived without accepting help, she would prove strength." Ethan's chest tightened. "And if she failed?" he asked. Silence answered him. The child whispered, "Then I would not be chosen." Ethan clenched his fists. "She's a child." The elders did not argue. "She was warned," one said. "Humans would take food for themselves. Humans would ignore her pain. Humans would prove our belief." Ethan laughed softly, but there was no humor in it. "So, you used hunger to test her?" And us? The elders watched him closely. Yes, the tall alien finally said. And you failed the test? The guards stiffened. Ethan lifted his head. If failing means letting a child starve, then I'm glad I failed. The alien child looked up at him, eyes wide. She ate, an elder said. That breaks tradition. Ethan stepped forward without fear now. She ate because she trusted. That doesn't sound like weakness to me. Murmurs spread across the hall. The glowing symbols on the child's skin began to shift again, forming new shapes softer, warmer in color. A system voice spoke. Trial data updating. New condition detected. The elders turned toward the display screens floating in the air. They showed memories. Ethan's memories. Long nights of work, skipping meals, giving food to his own child, choosing others over himself, again and again. Human, one elder said slowly. You live in constant lack. Why give away your only food? Ethan swallowed. Because I know what hunger does to a child. The hall fell silent. The alien child stepped forward, her voice stronger now. He did not know I was important. He did not know I was being tested. He helped me anyway. Her words echoed louder than any alarm. The elders looked at one another. This has never happened, one admitted. No human has ever passed this trial, said another. Ethan blinked. Passed? The tall alien spoke again. The trial was never about refusing food. Ethan's breath caught. It was about what kind of being you become when you have power over someone weaker. The truth hit the room like a shockwave. The child's symbols glowed bright gold. Trial complete, the system announced. Subject has chosen trust over fear. Gasps filled the hall. The alien child looked at Ethan and smiled faintly for the first time. You were not meant to be part of this, the tall alien said to Ethan. Yet your choice changed everything. Ethan felt his knees weaken. What happens now? He asked. The elders rose slowly. Now, one said, we must decide what to do with a species that proves us wrong. The guard stepped back. For the first time, Ethan was not seen as a janitor. He was seen as a human. And across the station, systems awakened not to punish, but to observe. Because one small act of kindness had shaken an ancient belief, and the galaxy was beginning to pay attention. The great hall remained silent for a long moment. Ethan stood in the center, surrounded by beings far more powerful than him. Once, he would have lowered his head. Once, he would have waited for orders, but not now. Across the chamber, the alien elders activated a wide floating screen. Symbols and images appeared, moving fast. Data streamed from many worlds. The trial is complete, the tall elder said. But its meaning is unclear. Another elder turned its glowing eyes toward Ethan. Your species was never meant to be tested. Ethan said nothing. The alien child stood beside him, no longer shaking. Her wings were steadier now. The golden light on her skin glowed softly, like a calm flame. We must judge the human, an elder announced. At those words, fear returned to Ethan's chest. The screen changed again. It showed images of humans across the galaxy. Workers in mines, cleaners in stations, mechanics, builders, farmers, humans bending under weight, fixing broken things, helping others. They endure, one elder said. They suffer in silence, another elder added. They lack strength. They lack power. The alien child looked up at the elders. Then why did he give me his food? The question struck deep. The elders paused. He gained nothing, she continued. No reward, no honor. He did not even watch me eat. Ethan closed his eyes briefly. The screen shifted again. It showed Ethan's life. His small home. His child sleeping on a narrow bed. Empty cupboards. Ethan skipping meals so his child could eat. Ethan cleaning floors late into the night. A low sound moved through the hall. Humans choose loss, an elder said slowly. Again and again. And yet, another replied, they continue. The tall elder stepped forward. Human Ethan, answer us. Ethan opened his eyes. I didn't think, he said simply. I saw a child. The elder studied him. If all humans were given power, would they rule with kindness? Ethan shook his head. Some wouldn't. Then why should your species be trusted? The elder asked. Ethan looked at the alien child. Because even without power, he said, we still choose to care. Silence followed. The system voice activated again. Judgment pending. The alien child suddenly stepped forward, standing between Ethan and the elders. "I choose him," she said. Gasps filled the hall. "This is not your decision," an elder warned. "Yes, it is," she replied. "The trial was mine. I was tested, and I choose trust." The golden symbols on her skin flared brighter than ever. The system reacted instantly. "Trial authority confirmed," it announced. "Subject decision accepted." The elders stepped back. Ethan's heart pounded. The tall elder spoke again, slower this time. "Human Ethan, you have altered a sacred process." Ethan waited for punishment. Instead, the elder said, "You will not be harmed." The guards lowered their weapons. A wave of relief washed over Ethan, but it did not last long. "This judgment is not just about you," the elder continued. "It is about humanity." Across the station, screens activated. Other species watched. News spread fast. A human janitor had passed a trial meant for rulers. "What if humans are not weak?" one voice echoed through the hall. "What if they are dangerous in a different way?" another asked. "Dangerous because they cared." The elders turned inward, speaking among themselves in low tones. Minutes felt like hours. Finally, the tall elder faced the hall. "Our belief was wrong," it announced. "Humans are not driven by hunger for power." The elder looked at Ethan directly. "They are driven by responsibility." The alien child smiled. A final question remained. "If humans could choose kindness without power," the elder said, "what would they do if given respect?" The hall waited. The galaxy waited. And Ethan realized something powerful. This was no longer about him. It was about the future of humanity. The great hall was no longer silent. Voices rose softly at first, then grew louder. Aliens of many kinds spoke to one another, questioning old beliefs. Screens across the station showed the same image again and again. A human janitor offering food to a starving alien child. Ethan stood still, unsure what to do. He was not a hero. He was not a leader. He was just a man who cleaned floors and worried about his child at home. The tall elder raised one final hand. "Human Ethan," it said, "step forward." Ethan obeyed. "You were judged today," the elder continued, "not for your strength, but for your choice." The elder turned toward the alien child. "This trial was meant to create rulers without weakness, but it has revealed something greater." The child looked up, calm and brave now. "Power without kindness creates fear," she said. "But kindness creates loyalty." Her words echoed through the hall. The system voice activated one last time. Trial result finalized. Subject has passed. New guardian recognized. The hall filled with quiet shock. Ethan blinked. "Guardian?" The child walked toward him and bowed her head. "In my people's tongue," she said softly, "you are called the giver who did not ask." Ethan felt his throat tighten. "I didn't mean," he began. "I know," she said. "That is why it matters." The elders stepped aside. "Human Ethan," the tall elder announced, "you are free. No human on this station will be punished for this act." The guards fully lowered their weapons. But the elder was not finished. "From this moment," it said, "humans on this station will no longer be unseen." A wave of quiet disbelief passed through the human workers watching from the shadows. "They will be paid fairly," the elder continued. "They will be protected, and they will be heard." Ethan's knees nearly gave way. All this because of one slice of pizza. The alien child gently took Ethan's hand. "Will you visit again?" she asked. Ethan smiled for the first time in a long while. "If I'm allowed." "You will always be allowed," she replied. Hours later, the station returned to normal. Blue lights replaced red. Alarms went silent. Work resumed. Ethan returned to the corridors with his cleaning cart. But something had changed. Aliens stepped aside to let him pass. Some nodded. Some whispered. Some simply watched with new eyes. He cleaned the same floors. He pushed the same cart. But he was no longer invisible. When Ethan finally returned home, his child ran to him. "Papa, did you eat?" the child asked. Ethan hesitated, then smiled. "Not today." The child frowned. "Were you hungry?" "Yes," Ethan said honestly. "Why didn't you eat?" Ethan knelt and hugged them close. "Because someone else needed it more." Across the galaxy, stories spread. Not about weapons, not about war, but about a human janitor. A man with no power, no rank, no reward, who changed how an ancient civilization saw humanity. They did not remember his name first. They remembered his act. And in time, whenever aliens spoke of humans, they said this: be careful of them. They will give you their last meal and change your world.